This is currently how he charges his car. You can see he passes it through the tree and then it charges here, which isn't ideal. So we're gonna fix it.
This is the metal we're gonna use. I'm gonna weld it in 90 degrees like this.
First up, we're gonna clean up the metal. Next up, we have the jig, and Angzoni's gonna weld over here. This is the bracket that's gonna hold up the whole hand that moves. I'll weld it up. Angzoni made a great weld this side and the other side. Now we're gonna clean it, the whole piece up.
Okay, now it's all clean up. And we're gonna drill it.
Now it's all centered up. Angzoni's gonna drill. I'm gonna put some lube on so it doesn't heat up. And we're going in. This is the first hole. Looking good. We're drilling the holes in this side. All these are already dug, and now we're drilling in this one. The piece, after we finish cutting all the holes, these ones are gonna go in the wall that way, and these ones are gonna go down. Now we're gonna make the pipe that's gonna sit, it's gonna hold the whole contraption, and we're gonna cut it and then weld it in the center over here. This is the bigger piece. Now we're gonna take this one, cut it this way, and join it up so it's has a small diameter than the original one, and then they're gonna go inside each other. We measured this line. Angzoni's gonna cut it with the disc, then we're gonna clamp it together and weld it back up. Put it in the clamp, and we're gonna start tightening it up until the radius fits right. So this is the original piece, this is the one cut, and that's how the whole thing is gonna work. Looking good. Place, Angzoni's gonna weld all across the line, and it's gonna be one straight piece. He's warming up the welding machine. Weld 9 here. Now Angzoni's gonna take the grinder, he's gonna grind it down so it fits inside the other pipe. Center of the piece, this is the X, and I measured around this circle. Now Angzoni's gonna weld this together, and this is the other piece that slides on it, and that's the whole thing that's gonna work.
Welding the pipe.
All the seam is completely welded. This is the part that goes on, and that's the whole thing swinging across. And on top of this part is gonna go the long pipe with the charging coil inside. That's the way it's gonna spin. Next up, I'm gonna be making a wooden box that's gonna hold the charging outlet when it's not being used. So I took up the measurements, and this is what it ends up. This is the height, the width, and the depth of the thing is 12 by 10 centimeters, and then 35 the height. So it's basically gonna sit inside this box up, and there's gonna be a piece of wood that's gonna hold the thing together. Let's go build it. The piece of wood is gonna go here. Over there is gonna go the metal rod all the way like that, and then the wire comes down, and over here on the wall is gonna be the wooden box that's gonna hold it. This is the piece of wood I'm gonna be using. The cool thing about it is it's 14 centimeters across, so I'm not going to be using a couple of them, joining them together. Width is 4 centimeters, so these are the things I'm going to be using: a pencil to draw the line, speed square to line it up, measure tape to see how long to go, a clamp to hold it in place, and a circular saw to cut it. Let's go. Always have your safety glasses on. These are the new ones I bought. Shout out to the short I made. Now we're going to cut. Do this 4 times, and we'll be done. The 4 pieces, now we're going to put them together into a box. And I have 2 halves like this, and we're going to join them up with pocket holes. You can see I line it up with the line, and now I'm gonna drill the hole.
Make the ground shake.
This is how it turned out. It's fine. I'm not exactly on the line, but I moved a bit left on all of them, so the spacing is fine. This one ended up not so good, but it's okay. And there's a bit of splinters, so I'm gonna clean it up by sanding it a little, and then we're gonna join up the two parts. Clamped in place and also squared up, so the whole thing is good. Now we're gonna drill in all the pocket holes. We're gonna do the same thing over here, pocket holes here to get into this piece, and then the last one will come over here. I had to take this part off to get to over here because of the angle of the bolts going in, so I'm gonna also add glue to the seams, and then we're gonna, this is all the glue spread out, and then we're gonna join it up together. It all glued up and all screwed in. This is the last piece. It's gonna go over here, and it's gonna sit on a hinge and just open like that. And this is where the charger is gonna sit inside. It's way overkill the amount of bolts that I had, because it's just gonna hold the charger, so it's not gonna have a lot of weight on it. But this is how we do things here at TNA. Next up, I'm gonna be making the lower part, like the thing that's gonna cover here. So the wood needs to be 18 by 18, and I have a piece of wood which is perfect for it. It's these thick beams over here are exactly 18, so we're going to use that and cut it 18. This is the piece after I cut it. It looks good, fits right in. So this is going to be the bottom part, and I'm going to drill it in over here with holes so it lines everything up. There are all the X's where I'm gonna pre-drill the holes. I'm gonna be using what this bit does, it has the place for the screw when it goes in, and then it's flush with the wood so you don't see the nail inside the wood.
I can't take it anymore. My mind's about to go to war.
This is all the holes drilled in. Now we're gonna put it on top.
To hear me cry when I call out for help, I blame it on the voices that are in my.
So basically it's all lined up, and this is the door. This is how it's gonna open, just like that. And what we're gonna do now is connect these opening hinges. I'm gonna put it over here. That's what it's gonna allow the door to open. The thing I do is shove a bit of paper so there's a small gap over here, so when the door opens it has a bit of flex and it doesn't get stuck. Let's get the hinges in. Wow, it's good. This is it open and closes perfectly. It even has a little bit of tension with the wood, so it closes shut up. The same thing I did downstairs. I need to make a ceiling for it, and it's gonna have a hole for the cable that goes in. This is the upper one. I haven't bolted it in yet, but that's how it looks, looking good. So I'm gonna bolt it in. I was thinking what's the best way to connect it without just bolting it in, because it's ugly. So I got this piece of metal. I'm gonna fit it in inside here at the angle, and it's gonna hold it in place. The reason this is fine to use is because this isn't gonna hold any weight up. It's just gonna be a decorative piece and to hold a bit of the water out. Drill these in one by one. It's a bit of a tough angle, but it's fine. We'll manage. I pre-drilled the holes, as you can see, so it will be easier. Put a handle on it so I have something to hold. I wanted something a bit rusty that's gonna fit in with the hinges. It's pretty close to color, so now I'm just gonna mark where I want it and then handle in. It fit perfectly, nice and flush, and the whole thing is really sturdy. I'm really liking how it turned out. All the seams, everything. I'm gonna need to cut a line inside here. I'm gonna take measurements from the wire itself. This is the wire. The wire itself is about 1.5 centimeters, so we're gonna take a hole that's 2, so it has a bit of wiggle room. The setup, this is the groove that I'm gonna cut. This is the first 2 cuts. Now I need to cut it this way, so the hole. Now I'm gonna use the jacksaw to remove the rest. The piece out, now I'm gonna clean up all the rough cuts here. Cut, let's go see how it fits with the cable. This is it. Imagine it dangling from above. You put it inside, then you just close it. That's it. It holds in place, and when you want it again, you open it, take it out, and you can charge your car. Next up, I need to sand everything down, so now finish. Looking real good. Everything's all brushed and nice, ready for the due date. So this is where the pole is gonna go, and I'm measuring the length between the wall and the car. This is the charge board. So it's 2.6 meters. I'm gonna take 265. That's gonna be the length of the pole. This is the piece of metal we're gonna be using, and I measured it to 265 and draw a line on it. Now we're gonna cut it. So this was a fucking nightmare, but it's all done, all smooth, all of it. Now what's left is painting it, but this, I don't want to do it ever again. Wow, that was horrible.
This is the shape I'm gonna weld the pipe. I'm gonna cut a circle for the pipe that I can weld it well. This is the shape for the pipe. Now I can weld it all over the line.
So this is the weld. Now we're gonna add this.
Hello!
For
This is my weld. All this is my weld. My weld.
Destruction.
This is the mechanism. This is how it works.
We clamped it in place. It's not the real place it's gonna sit, but we just wanted to see that it holds up and it looks real good. So this is all the way open. You can see it's holding its weight.
Another metal piece to support the mechanism. This is how after we weld.
As you can see, got the best welder in town.
This is the piece I'm gonna cut for the pipe gonna spin 90 degrees. This is the piece I cut. This is the stopper, 90 degrees, and
That's the reason we cut it out. Otherwise, it wouldn't move freely on the hinge. Out a route inside the tube itself for the wire, the charging wire to pass through. It's about 2 centimeters in width, because that's the cable itself. It's gonna run the whole width till the end. This is the cut. It goes all the way through. We need to make this a second time. They take the piece out so there's a room for the wire. So this is what we're left with. A perfect route for the cable. Looking good. This is the stuff that came out of the pipe itself. It's basically metal. Next we need to paint everything. This is the setup. Looking good. All painted up. Didn't paint this piece because it's gonna spin and we don't want it to interfere with the mechanism itself. Next up, we decided to make it a bit stronger, because this support piece is only for when the piece itself is at the 180 degrees, and when it's at 90 degrees we need to add this support piece like this. So Zuni's gonna weld it. This is how it's looking. Zuni's also welded some more to support the piece. Now we need to cut again a groove in this so it fits. This is how it's looking after I cut the piece here. Now it's way stronger and the weld is better. These are the bolts we're gonna use. So we marked it with the duct tape so we know how we need to drill.
okay, first step, we're gonna make hole for the bolt.
So Zuni's gonna line up the thing and
not solid concrete, we're gonna switch up to these. They're also strong, but they're meant for other stuff, so Zuni's now gonna make new holes.
Oh, fit like a glove.
Oh, this is how it's looking after weeks of work. It's perfect. Now all it's left is to channel the charging wire itself. This is it open and this is it closed. Ozuni's over there, so it can't go further, but basically it's all the way there. Super satisfied. We had a bit of a problem installing it, but at the end, looking good. This is the cable. Ozuni's gonna channel it all the way. Through the groove we made earlier. Ozuni's removing the cable where it goes in. Now Ozuni is drilling a hole for the electrical socket, so it's on the wall mounted. Now it's all mounted, looking good. We're gonna install the place for the wire itself. Now Ozuni's gonna drill into the wall. This is it in place. As you can see, it's bolted in. So, we're all done. This has been way too long, and now I'm gonna show. This is the place where the charger sits. Take the wire, pull the whole thing. This is the car. Come to the car. I charge. When I'm done, again I take it back all the way. Then I put the charger in the case, close it, take the wire in. That's it. Hope you like. Remember to subscribe. Hope you have a great day. See you next time.